how's it going out there today, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great day. It is August 15th. It is Thursday morning. Going to talk to you today about a load I just delivered in St. Cloud, Minnesota. Brought it up from the west suburbs of Chicago. Yes, it was fun. It was 3 pickups, 3 cold storages in one day. Oh, the excitement. So, let's talk about this load. This exciting load. So 3 pickups out of cold storage in the west, on the west side of Chicago. First stop, 1 pallet pickup, 1 hour in the dock. Second stop, picked up about 8 pallets, 4 hours in the dock for that. Third stop, picked up 6 more pallets for 3.5 hours in that dock. Started getting this load put on at noon, right at noon. And got the last paperwork in hand at 10:30 at night. These detention times are getting ridiculous. So with the final stop, all 4 stops ended up at 12 hours of detention time. So, and the last one got me unloaded between the last 2 taking so long. I was supposed to deliver this load yesterday at 1 p.m. That's their last appointment time. I would have got here at about 2 p.m. They said that's a no-go. Broker reschedules it for today at 7 a.m. So basically I had to stay here for 18 hours with the reefer running at -10 to satisfy, the load. So I told the broker that it wasn't my fault I couldn't get here. I said if the last 2 places would have been reasonable and took 2 hours to load those 14 or so pallets, 14 or 16 pallets at the last 2 stops, I said, I would have been here probably yesterday morning. So I'm trying to argue some layover pay and some detention pay out of that. I told him $200 at least because I got 50 of that going to be put in the reefer tank just to keep this load at -10, So I said $150 for, tying up a whole, my whole day, my whole afternoon yesterday, basically. I said I'd be at the house by now. What I was telling him yesterday afternoon is I'd be at the house by now if, we didn't have to, take forever to get a few pallets put on. But we'll see how that shakes out. The load was, just a frozen food load, -10 degrees, 37,000 pounds in all after everything was loaded. Paid $1,300 on 651 total miles, 128 deadhead miles, 523 miles from the first pickup to the delivery. For 651 miles, like I said, that is $2 a mile to the carrier. That's $1.60 a mile to the truck, and that is $1,040 to the truck. So variable cost, what we got in here, we got trucks, the truck fuel. I put 73 gallons in truck fuel, $222. That was $3.05 a gallon. Reefer fuel, 32 gallons, it's the same price, $98. Toll, $99 in tolls running all over Chicago yesterday. The load was kind of built backwards from what I needed. My last stop was in Wisconsin, so to get to the first pickup I had to backtrack basically past 2 stops to go closer to Chicago, and then work my way back toward Minnesota for the other 2 stops. So I kind of had to backtrack and then go back. So a lot of tolls, man. I was all over toll roads in Chicago, and there was just really no good way to get around them, without just tying up the whole day running around Chicago. So when when you have to, you got to. So $99 in tolls, $12 on a scale, variable cost of $431. I had $20 in fuel discounts, bringing it down to $411 variable cost. So $1,040 minus $411 variable cost, $629 as of right now after variable cost. Really really hoping we can get some detention pay out of this, because that is not a very good rate for a load that is tied up going on. That basically tied up 2 full days. And yeah, so we will see about we'll see about what they say about the detention pay. Hopefully they get that sorted out, because excuse me, that is I'm getting tired of tying up days and not getting paid for them. It's getting frustrating, to say the least. I'm gonna try. I'm doing the numbers on it right now. I've been doing it for about 3 months now, keeping track of every minute that I put into this operation. Every minute on the load board, maybe not every minute, but I keep a rough estimate running that's pretty accurate of time spent on the load board, time spent dealing with brokers, time doing things to the truck that I wouldn't be doing if I wasn't an owner operator, trip planning, fuel stops, IFTA calculations, and given the company I'm leased to does my my IFTA calculations of what I pay, but I'm talking about the purchasing fuel at the best price minus the IFTA tax, and trying to make all that IFTA balance out and everything. Time spent doing stuff like that, time spent detention time that I don't get paid for, detention time that I do get paid for. I've been keeping track of all of that versus the money that comes in, and try to get an hourly rate of what I'm doing here. And got to be honest with myself, because if you lie to someone else, that's bad, but if you lie to yourself, that's the worst. So I know kind of what I'm making per hour here. I know the time I'm tying up. I know the risk I'm taking. To be honest with you guys, I'm kind of planning on some other stuff right now. To me, the stress of owner operator gig, and everybody wants to be an owner operator these days, so the rates are not that good. Last week, the weekly average was $2.09 a mile on reefer freight. To me, that is that's way low on a reefer rate, because of the risk, the extra money you spend on reefer fuel. That's a low rate to me. I see that as being, it needs to be more up around like $2.50 average. That way you actually get some good ones here and there, some really good ones. Like some $4.50 a mile type stuff to really incentivize you to want to be an owner operator. But yeah, so I'm looking into some other things right now. I would definitely keep you guys posted on how things work out, what's going on. It's a time in my career where it's time to reflect, and I've been doing it for 13 years now. It's always good to reevaluate. There may be a better way of doing things, even if what you're doing is not broke, and if you don't think it's broken, there still may be a better way of doing things. So yeah, I'm gonna explore some other options and see where that takes me, because I'm at a point with this truck as well where it's time to replace this truck. It's a constant, perpetual problem at this point. And I'm not saying you can't make money being an owner operator now, but I'm just thinking, like, with the sacrifices that my family has made, is the reward there? And I'm starting to question it, because I've been honest with myself and keeping up with all these numbers, and it was pretty disappointing when I started figuring it all up. And I'm like, maybe if I can get a place where I can get paid for all this time that I'm giving away right now, maybe I work less, maybe I make more money. Either way, it's a bonus in my world, because if someone has to pay me for all this time, they're either going to pay me for it or they're going to get me home. And you know, that's what I want: paid more or home more. So yeah, that's what's going on, guys. I'll keep everybody updated on what's going on. I appreciate everybody watching the videos. My subscribers are going up. I appreciate that. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Until next time, guys, take care of each other out there. Later.